Queen Matilda by Marriott, Edgar. Henry I, surnamed Beauclerk, lost his only son William at sea. So when Henry died, it was hard to decide who his heir and successor should be. There were two runners-up for the title. His daughter Matilda was one, and the other a boy called Stephen of Blois, his young sister Adela's son. Matilda by right should have had it, being daughter of him as was dead. But folk weren't too keen upon having a queen, so they went and crowned Stephen instead. This here were a knockout for Tilda, the notion she could not absorb, to lose at one blow both the crown and the throne, to say naught of the sceptre and orb. So she went to the friends in West Country, from Bristol, Bath, Gloucester and Frome, and also a lot of relations from Scotland who come down and wouldn't go home. The East Counties rallied round Stephen, whose cause found support in the masses. His promise of loot brought a lot of recruits of the more intellectual classes. The country was split in two parties in a manner you'd hardly believe. The West with a will shouting, "Oh, we Matilda!" and the East shouting, "Come along, Steve!" Both armies met up in Yorkshire. Both leaders the same tactics tried. To each soldier they gave a big flag for to wave, in hopes to impress t'other side. 'Twas called the Battle of Standard, though no battling anyone saw, for with flags in their right hands the lads couldn't fight, and the referee called it a draw. The next place they met were at Lincoln, where Stephen was properly beat. At the end of the scrap he was taken a captive with iron balls chained to his feet. He was taken in triumph to Tilda, who, assuming an arrogant mien, snatched the crown off his head and indignantly said, "Take your hat off in front of your queen." So Stephen was put in a dungeon, and Matilda ascended the rope throne, where she reigned undisturbed for part of a year, till she looked at the job as her own. But Steve weren't beat by a long chalk. His plans for escape he soon made, for he found Tilda's troops were getting fed up when they heard that they wouldn't be paid. So one day, when snowed in Oxford, where she'd gotten to staying of late, she woke one fine morn to the sound of the horn, and found Stephen outside her front gate. Her troops gone, her castle surrounded. She realised she hadn't a chance, so the ground being white, she escaped in her nightie and caught the first packet to France. She didn't do badly at finished, for when everything's worked out and reckoned, when Stephen were gone, the next heir to the throne was Matilda's son, Henry II.